Hello! Did you know that over 75% of deaf or hard of hearing students in America are in mainstreamed public school programs? The other 25% of deaf students are in schools for the deaf. Deaf students and hearing students do not learn the same. This is due to different communication styles because the deaf are not able to hear and the hard of hearing students have difficulty hearing to their full capacity. So, it is important to be professional and know how to be inclusive when you are a teacher to deaf or hard of hearing students, so they understand you and the material you are teaching. Here are some tips on how to be inclusive and professional when you are a teacher to deaf or hard of hearing students. There may be students in your classroom who are deaf or hard of hearing and rely on lip reading to obtain information. When teaching a lesson or communicating with a student, here are some important tips to remember. First, talk naturally. Do not over-exaggerate your mouth movements or have little mouth movements. Second, do not block your lips. Don't cover your lips or mouth with your hands, clothing, or hair. Third, always be face-to-face and at a reasonable distance to see your lips. Fourth, when talking, do not turn away. If you do, they will miss information. Fifth, if they do not understand what you are saying, rephrase your statement or show visuals or make gestures. Lastly, if you are showing an educational video that is not in sign language, always turn on the closed captions.
You are wearing the appropriate attire. You can do this by wearing colors that are the opposite of your skin tone. For example, if you are fair-toned, you should be wearing black or navy clothing. If you have a darker complexion, you want to make sure that the clothing you are wearing is white. You're not wearing distracting jewelry like big bracelets or rings. You should also refrain from having tattoos on your hands. All of these things are very distracting for deaf students. You should make sure that you do this because if you don't, it makes it a lot harder for deaf people to see your hands.
When teaching deaf and hard of hearing students, the room must be lit in a way that is not too bright or too dark. In addition, the room should be free of visually distracting items in view. The ceiling should have flashing lights available in case of emergency. The desk should be placed in a circular way in order for students to be able to see the instructor as well as the interpreter if the need arises for one to be present.
From this is to be inclusive. If you have deaf or hard of hearing students, it is important to use the tips listed in the video. If you follow these tips, you will be professional and inclusive. Your deaf or hard of hearing student will appreciate you, understand your class, and their grades will improve from effective communication.